Dear learners, now we are going to start the lecture 4 of week 7 module 7 of our marketing course, The Art and Science of Marketing from Basics to Breakthrough. In week 7 module 7 we are actually discussing the marketing mix, the first element, the product strategies and product decision. Now the lecture 4 of module 7 is devoted to understand the product life cycle and related strategies. I, Dr. Asutosh Mohan, Associate Professor at Institute of Management Studies, Banaras Hindu University, welcome you back to exciting journey to understand the product life cycle. So let's start with the session objective. What are our session objective? This session will have two basic objectives to understand. We will try to describe the four key stages of product life cycle, and further we will try to understand the marketing strategies associated with each stage of product life cycle. Let's take one real world story that relates with the iPod, very popular product of Apple at one point of time, that revolutionized in 2000 world the digital music arena. Prior to this iPod, the Sony Walkmans were quite popular, but it saw a massive success but gradually declined with the rise of a smartphone. Why? Because the Apple nearly phased out in favor of a smartphone, because the smartphones are capable enough to eliminate the need of iPods. So what's the learning? Every product has a life cycle and success depends on managing each stage wisely. So having a product till eternity is a difficult proposition. Product is bound to move into different stages, and it might also possible that it may lead towards a death. That's what a human life cycle, that's what every element on this earth is having a life cycle, where we are moving from one stage to another and then reaching to the final destination. So what is product life cycle? The progression of a product through introduction, growth, maturity and decline. That's what a usual product life cycle we are talking about. We are discussing, or we will discuss the same. Just see what exactly product life cycle graphs look like. I included one more element and just try to find out. There are two axes. On x-axis the time is represented, on y-axis the sales and profit is represented, and the product life cycle I am starting with the product development phase, even though the product development phase is not part of actual product life cycle. Actual product life cycle starts with the introduction. When you introduce the product, that is what the actual product life cycle we are talking about. Then it reaches, after certain time limit, it reaches to this point where the growth is quite steep, quite high. This is what growth stage is. And after that you will find the rate of growth is somehow decreasing, then reaching to certain stagnation and then start declining. This is what maturity. And when this decline at this particular point become a sharp decline, the rate of decline is very high, then it become a decline stage. Now we can categorize this maturity again into three specific categories. Say this is growing maturity, growing, this is stable, and this is declining maturity. So, at one stage of maturity when growth was small but still growing, that is growing maturity, then there is stagnation where the growth is somehow not possible, but demand remains stable, that is what stable maturity. Then we have the possibility of decline, or decline will start at a slow rate, and when it peaks later on, that starts the decline stage. So, green line is representing the sales. Now, just concentrate on the red line, even though the profit, if you start earning, it need not to be red, it need to be green, but let's for a differentiation purpose. There is no question of earning the profit, no question of earning the profit in the product development stage. Actually, we are incurring the cost. Even in the introduction stage, there is no question of earning the profit because we have the fixed cost and we have the variable cost. Even if we are able to recover the variable, we might not be able to recover the fixed cost. So, the possibility of earning profit starts when the product enters into the growth stage and it moves in tandem, just see, reaching to the peak at the growth maturity stage and then start declining little bit and then may reach to the zero as the sales reach to the zero. So, this actually represents the product life cycle and its characteristic in terms of sales and profits. Now, let us have some other product life cycle representations also. Let us have some other product life cycle representation. For example, product life cycle may look like this, it is possible. Product life cycle may look like this, it is possible. Product life cycle may also look like this, it is possible. Product life cycle may have this possibility also. Now, just imagine and just see the different figures, the different graphs. This is actually the cycle, recycle, product life cycle. This is actually growth, maturity and slump life cycle. This is called scalloped product life cycle and this is what fad life cycle is. Now, by seeing these we can understand the difference. Here this is a quite natural kind of movement where product is reaching to the decline, then certain activities performed by the organization, it again reaches to growth, maturity and this cycle continues over a period of time. So, just imagine any product is having age of 10, 50, 100, 200 years, how many times they have this kind of cycle and recycle possible. Now, growth, maturity and slump. Just see the product reaches to the growth, then maturity declined and after that a constant requirement of demand, a constant level of demand over a period of time. What actually it represent? It represent after certain period or after certain decline, a group of customers are actually remain loyal to the product and they keep on purchasing, they are not moving to any other product. That is possible in several kitchen appliances. We may have the different modern technology enabled kitchen appliances, but if we develop habit of using certain utensils, certain tools, certain equipment in our kitchen and love to use those things in our cook or cooking, then we are not changing. For example, still I find a traditional kind of peelers available in different Indian kitchen, whereas lot of innovation, lot of changes made with the peelers and new design, new better mechanism, new better efficiency and effective pillars are available, but still people are using that round shaped pillar in their kitchen, and the demand for those round shaped pillars in the kitchen remains constant. That's happening and that's possible. What about the scalloped? Scalloped is one of the pattern which is very crucial, and if any organization is having this kind of scalloped pattern, just see this scalloped pattern. You are not reaching to the growth, not reaching to the maturity, and your product remains in a growth stage. Don't you think this is actually a dream situation for any organization? It means if you are not reaching to maturity, there is no question of decline. You keep on increasing your market share by many folds. It's possible. Yes, it's possible. Heard the company name DuPont? DuPont is having lot many innovation, the patents related with different products. One of the product of DuPont is nylon. When they introduced the nylon, it was basically used or basically introduced for industrial purpose. But later on they recognized the multiple uses of nylon in different industry, even the apparels with nylon. All those particular possibility they explored, and nylon remained in a growth trajectory for a long period of time. Nowadays, one product from DuPont, and many of us are using that product. Can you imagine which? Teflon. Heard about Teflon? Teflon coating. Now this product of Teflon coating is protecting the product from different kind of wear and tear. So they introduced or they identified the product, they innovated the product again for certain industrial uses, but this Teflon becomes so popular that we have our utensil with Teflon coating. The paints are also having the Teflon addition to make it more resistance to different kind of scratches or the different abnormalities. The cars are having the Teflon coating. So new uses of Teflon we are finding in our day-to-day use. Who knows? In future we may have a face cream with Teflon. That's also possible. So this is happening, and this is what scalloped product life cycle talks about. Now what about this fad? Fad means you are getting instant popularity and then declining rapidly. Can you correlate with any of the product or your experience? Don't you think fad is more prevalent in our soy business, soy industry? How many of us remember the lyrics of Kolavari D by Dhanush? When it launched, instant popularity. Nowadays of social media, we are getting the viral videos, the viral popularity. But how many of us are able to recall those viral video, say even after few days, even after a week or a month? Very difficult. That's what fads are. So whenever any movie, just think about whenever any movie or any particular serial or any particular things are getting popular in movies, by and large you will find the accessories which hero or heroines are actually using becomes very popular during the screening of movies in different theaters. But as movie come out from the screen, phased out from the screen, people don't like to wear the same accessories again, and the demand for those accessories declined immediately. This is what we need to understand for fad. Let's move to the different stages. As I mentioned, there are 4 stages in product life cycle, and the first stage is introduction stage. We already talked about the product development stage in case of new product development stage. So in case of introduction stage, the characteristic, the slow growth because you launch the product, people are not very eager to go for your product. Only the risk takers, as per the product adoption or customer adoption, if you remember, only those early adopters, the risk takers, are purchasing your product because your product is new, and accordingly you are witnessing a relatively less growth. This is what characteristic is. Now, what kind of a strategy you might have? You might have two specific strategies. If you are entering the market with a first mover advantage, if you are entering a market where product is altogether new to the world product, if you are entering a market where product is having certain premium looks or premium qualities which the present players don't have, then what will you try to do? You try to leverage this distinctive feature by making your product in terms of price a premium pricing. You offer premium price, and this strategy of launching a product with a premium price is called market skimming strategy. So, if you are first mover, if you have a very clear distinction, having an edge over all others, and if you are enjoying those particular thing new to the world product you are launching, then you may go for the market skimming strategy in the introduction stage. But suppose you are not a first mover, you don't have that kind of new to the world product, but you are entering a market late, you are late entrant in the market, then how will you capture the market? Then you need to go for market penetration strategies, where your price is bound to be low. There are certain distinctions, certain differential point which are supposed to attract the market. That's what Reliance Jio did, offer data free of cost and develop a kind of habit of using the data. Later on they charged it. So you entered late, Reliance Jio entered late. Only 4 or 5 or maximum 4 players were present in each telecom circle. So they were the last one. But just see the position, how beautifully they achieved this position where they opted for market penetration strategy. So this is what we need to understand. Product is bound to be new. The place you have to search for the same, because whatever the available option, you try to convince the distributors, the players to go for your new product. The price, depending on your market position, you decide whether it's market skimming or market penetration. Promotion, the fourth P. Promotion. In case of introduction stage, the promotion is to create awareness, and it is bound to be high. If you are not making a good effort to communicate about your product launch, then no one is going to have interest about your product. So promotion bound to be high, with an intention, with an objective to create awareness about your product. Next one is growth stage. Now, what is the strategies for growth stage? Now, growth stage is having certain characteristic. If you recall the graph which we discussed in our previous slides, the growth stage witness a rapid growth rate. It means people are accepting your product after introduction. People are accepting your product widely. That's why your product sales is increasing manifold, increasing in a rapid pace, and accordingly you start earning the profits. So what will you do? Will you make any major changes in your marketing mix element? No, I don't think so. That's required one. So what will you do? You have to go to maintain or to ensure the product quality. That is one strategy. You just need to assure whatever you offered, it remains in the same way. You may introduce certain new or improved versions. No big makeover, simple variants, the new variant, little bit of changes, maybe a kind of ornamental changes, and offering certain product to cater wider market. Enter into new market segment, that might be a strategy related with the place. You may go for little lowering of price or maintain the price. Don't play too much with the price factor at growth stage. And more importantly, if you talk about the promotion, now the objective of promotion changes. Now the objective of promotion in growth stage, what was the objective of promotion in introduction stage? The objective of promotion at introduction stage was to create awareness. Whereas the objective of promotion, that is marketing communication, is to create preference rather than awareness, because you are already growing. And if you are growing, you simply need to tell that our product is a good one, go for it. And that's why we are seeing the different advertisement where people are claiming we are the number one at the marketplace. We are the number one from so many years. Why they are claiming? If you are number one, there is no need to claim, but they are claiming. Why they are claiming? They are simply assuring that remain with this number one player, and those who are still thinking to come on our kitty, just come and experience the product. So the promotion objective from awareness, it changed into growth stage to create preference. That's what a major shift is. Now come to the next stage, that is maturity stage. Now in case of maturity stage, means your growth is somehow reducing, your growth rate is somehow reducing, and at one point you are not witnessing any growth, neither growth nor decline. That is what is stable maturity we talked about. And after certain duration, after certain time, your decline will start, a slow decline will start. That is what declining maturity we talked about. Now what will you do with these three specific categories within the maturity stage? So there are three strategies. Either you go for market modification, or you may go for product modification, or you may go for marketing mix modification. Now my query to you is, product modification, don't you think is part of marketing mix modification? Yes or no? Product modification is definitely a part of marketing mix modification, but is still mentioned separately. Why is it so? The only reason is that because when we talk about product modification in big way is capable enough to change the fortune of organization without changing any other marketing mix element. So this is one single entity which can turn the fortune, turn the tide in a reverse manner, and accordingly you can witness a success or recycle of your product life cycle again. And that's why it mentioned separately. So product modification, just try to understand, when we talk about product modification here, it means you are launching might be a new version of product. That's what we discussed in terms of product line modernization, where we keep on launching a new version of a product. We are launching a major changes may be considered as a new product, but enough to create a possibility of recycling the product life cycle. Now what will be the market mix modification? We already understand the product. So price is supposed to be low. We may offer certain kind of discounts. We may offer certain kind of promotion. So through price, we try to lure the price sensitive customers and try to revive our fortune. Promotion, either you maintain the promotion or you try to promote the price sensitive customer with your offers. Then you have to promote a little more to make them aware that certain offers are going on with this product. What about the place? Whatsoever available place. If anything is unturned, you want to turn the same. So if you are selling online, you try to offline. If you are selling offline, you try to online. Or even in offline, if certain distributors or certain trade channels are untouched, you try to touch those trade channels and try to make your product more available, more accessible, or enter into new market. That's what marketing mix modification talks about under the maturity stage. Now let us talk one very beautiful strategy under the maturity, that is market modification. What we mean by market modification? Just see, the market modification means we try to understand with one mathematical formula. Sales volume equals to number of brand user, that is one factor, multiplied by usage rate per user, the second factor. It means if we are increasing the number of brand users or if we are increasing the usage rate per user, our sales volume is bound to increase if any one of these is increasing. And suppose if you are able to increase both of these, your sales volume will increase manifold because it's a multiplier effect. Now, how can we increase the factor 1 or factor 2? Let's take one by one. How can we increase the factor 1, that is number of brand users? There are three possibilities. We may convert non-users into users, we may enter a new market segment, and we may have winning competitors customer. Now let us take one by one. Converting non-users into users. Possible? Is it possible? It's possible. How? How is it possible? Converting non-users into users. Just imagine, in fact, few years back there were hoardings where No Frill Airlines compared their fare from Delhi to Mumbai and to and fro from Mumbai to Delhi with AC railway fare. And they simply said, why you are going with train, why not go for airlines with relatively same fare? So they want to simply convert those non-users who are having a kind of mindset that air travel is costlier, train is cheaper. They simply saying make certain expenses little bit of more than your railway expenses, but you save lot of time and energy. So they tried to convert non-user into user. One option, one very good option which you can go for. Entering into new market segment. Now Johnson Baby products, Johnson and Johnson is claiming their products are not only good for baby, but it's also good for mother. Don't you think they are trying to enter a new segment? And if you are entering a new segment, it means number of users are bound to increase. Now, what about the third option? Luring the competitor's customer. That is again one technique through which you can increase the number of users. That is possible, and that's what famous cola war we used to witness time to time, where one cola giant is saying don't drink this, the other is saying drink this, one is saying official, other is saying nothing official about it. So they simply try to lure one another customer to increase their user base, and that's quite natural. So we can increase the first factor of increasing sales volume by increasing the number of users. It's possible. Now how can we increase the second factor, that is usage rate per use? There are three possibilities. We can increase the use product on more occasions, we can use more of the product on each occasion, and we can use the product in a new way. Possible? How? Just see three options. Use product on more occasion. Just see, Knorr soup or even any soup, in our usual understanding, the consumption of soup is considered to be an appetizer. Soup is considered to be an appetizer. So we usually take soups before our meal, but Knorr try to create one more possible consumption opportunity. They simply highlighted, if your child is feeling hungry in the evening, there is a gap between dinner and a lunch. So if your child is feeling hungry in the evening and you want to serve some nutritional food rather than any junk food, serve your child with soup. Beautiful campaign, beautiful strategy to identify a new use or a new possibility to use the product. So, soup no longer an appetizer. If you feel hungry, go for it. Certain nutritional value you can get from the soup. Agree? Next one, more uses per use. That's somehow illegally tried by certain organization in toothpaste when they increase the diameter of tube's outlet. So when you squeeze, more toothpaste used to come, but that was regulated. Now every toothpaste, just try it. It's a beautiful experiment. Just try, every toothpaste cap is having, or the outlet is having, by and large, the inner layer is having the same diameter, and that is why you can replace one toothpaste brand cap to another toothpaste brand cap if outer layer is not changed. So this is possible. So diameter is fixed by regulation, otherwise you simply increase the diameter of tube, and when you squeeze, you are using more product. So uses per use is going to increase. But this is again possible. That was something illegal, but legally it's possible. Don't you find the shampoo ads, what they are claiming? They claim to use your hair not once, rinse your hair not once, but twice or thrice. So you are using a product not one but 2 or 3 times. Don't you think you are using more of the product? That is what increasing uses per use. So earlier it was twice, but recently I saw in one of the advertisement, in one of the label of a shampoo, it was mentioned use twice or thrice. So if you are using thrice, you are increasing the volume. Possible, it's possible. Another possibility, you are developing a new kind of use of your product. That's possible. How? Several times it's possible to promote, several times it's not possible to promote. It's a very funny example. In some of the eateries on highway in Punjab and Haryana, they are using the washing machines to produce lassi and chach. So it is one of the new use of washing machine. But can washing machine manufacturer promote this use? No. But several times the different uses we can promote, and accordingly the chance of getting those particular product volume to increase. Many times even in toothpaste, people used to say apply toothpaste whenever you are having a sensation of burning. So toothpaste are not supposed to apply on a skin to subside the sensation of burning, but it's a kind of new use. So several home remedies are talking about these kind of uses, but it can't be promoted by the toothpaste manufacturer. Okay, but all these particular practices are increasing the another factor which can increase the overall sales volume, and accordingly the chances of reviving the maturity stage, the chances of reviving the sales volume will be higher. Now, what will be the stages or what will the strategies of decline? Decline stage, your decline means your profits are dropping, your sales is dropping, and you are finding yourself as a marketer in an organization in a situation where the prospects are very dim. So what will you do? In several instances, organization try to revive by playing the different marketing mix element combination. But suppose after making all those efforts, still you are not getting any success, then what will you do? Will you wait for your natural death to occur, or will you strategize something more? If you wait for your natural death to occur, then it means you are going for a strategy that is called divesting. Divesting means you are simply selling off your assets or the different resources which you engaged for production of a product, you are selling to any other vendor. That is what divesting is, any other organization. So whatever the organization is valuing you, because it's a very problematic situation for you, you cannot bargain, whatsoever a kind of a scrap value you are having from other organization, you simply sell it and come out from the business. So scrap value is divesting. Getting a scrap value is divesting. So what's the harvesting? Another very beautiful technique. What we mean by harvesting? Now harvesting, by name, can you guess anything? What actually harvesting is? Harvesting means you are reaping the advantage of a full-fledged crop in a full manner. Harvesting means cutting your crop at a right time to get the maximum market benefits. This is what harvesting in marketing sense also. You are selling your product and related items, the related asset, to another organization at a premium price. Even though you are declining, but you are achieving, you are able to negotiate, you are able to have an upper edge and getting certain premium prices for selling your assets related with a declining product. Will it be possible? Looks like a fancy element, but certain good, maybe the certain smart marketers are able to do the same. I remember one story related with this harvesting. One of our great marketer who established many big brands, known brands, he started one of the product that was crack cream. How many of you remember crack cream? Many of us. It is still available in the market. So he introduced the crack cream in the market, and very soon he received the #1 position at the marketplace, because the commercial, the marketing efforts were so beautifully curated that it grabbed the attention of market. What he communicated through commercials, he simply communicated that crack on heels considered to be a very bad situation, and generally it used to occur to female, and they keep on hiding their crack heel from their sari or something like this. They feel odd to show their heels, crack heels. So while by applying the crack cream on those crack heels, the beauty of heel returns back. That was the advertisement appeal, and that made the brand a successful brand. But when brand was at the peak, the owner of this crack cream sold this brand to another organization at a very premium price. People wondered why he did the same. Then he explained very beautifully after certain year that he sensed that the crack cream already reached on maturity and very soon might go to the decline stage. And the reason which he mentioned, a very beautiful reason. Can you imagine? He mentioned that the demand or sales volume of cream was declining. Why? Because the commercial which he made, which the commercial created a kind of sensitization, a kind of awareness amongst the female population of country, that ladies started taking care about their heels. Earlier they ignored. Now those possibilities of taking care with pedicure and all those particular treatments, the heels are not getting crack. So if heels are not getting crack, where will you apply the crack cream? He witnessed this particular change in the uses, the change in the behavior of consumer, and accordingly identified this cream may not have a big potential, and he sold at a premium price. And this is one of the beautiful example of harvesting, and it's possible. And it's possible if you sense, if you are able to capture the happenings at the marketplace and respond on a timely manner, then only you can reap the advantage, and that's what the harvesting talks about. So this is what the decline stage strategy. Now I hope every one of us or every one of you must be very clear in terms of product life cycle and its stages. So what's the summary? PLC is a strategic tool, not just a timeline. It's a tool to understand the characteristic. It's a tool to formulate the different strategies. Remember, success depends on adapting to the consumer behavior and market context. If you are not adapting, then possibly you are not able to survive. Smart transitions equals to brand survival and growth. That's what the full story of PLC talks about. If you are good to understand the dynamics of market, ready to adopt and adapt, then only you can survive at the marketplace successfully and may have a possibility to cycle, recycle, may have a possibility to witness a kind of dream product life cycle like scalloped, where there is no maturity, growth, 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 and more growth. All these possibilities we have to have understand. So PLC is not telling us about the characteristic, it's telling us about the possibility of understanding the market dynamics and accordingly building the strategies to revive or keep intact the fortune at the marketplace. So as per the requirement of my course, the continuous learning assignment I am giving to you in terms of think and answer a very simple question: can all brands avoid decline? What does it take? Possible. Just think about it. If not, then what they have to do, we already learned. So if you have further interest, read article of Business Today, brands that reinvented themselves. A very good article, very beautiful article, and which talks about the iconic brands, which talks about the strategies adopted by those market acumen kind of organization. Thanks. Thank you for your attention, and with this lecture we reach to the point where we understand the different details related with the product in terms of understanding the product mix and product line, new product development, packaging, labeling, and finally the product life cycle. So last lecture we will discuss the certain real life case studies to understand the product failure and success. Thanks again.